Are you drowning in research, data analysis, and document creation while trying to get your actual work done? WorkBuddy is the agentic AI workspace that handles all those time-consuming tasks, powered by Tencent's HY3 model, so you can focus on what actually matters: your strategy, creativity, and decisions. Okay, right, so I've already got WorkBuddy installed. So let's jump straight into the platform and see how it works. This is the main WorkBuddy workspace. WorkBuddy is designed as an AI agent workstation rather than just a traditional chatbot. The basic idea is that I can describe the work I need in natural language, and the agent can then plan the task, execute the individual steps, and give me a usable result. And the model we're focusing on today is HY3. So we'll go over here and we will select HY3. So HY3 is Tencent's 295 billion parameter mixture of expert models with 21 billion active parameters and 256,000 context length. Tencent describes it as a model designed for reasoning, agentic workflows, and real-world productivity tasks. WorkBuddy's client brief also highlights HY3 is 2 to 5 times faster and smarter than previous generations, with a 90% plus task success rate and 34% faster completion time. So rather than just talking about those claims, let's actually give WorkBuddy a real task and see how the agent handles it. I want a research, analysis, organization, and a finished report. And I put the objective and the output requirements directly into the task, so WorkBuddy has enough context to understand what I'm actually trying to produce. So we'll pop that in. I will paste this in. So this is my task cleanly inputted into the workspace. Also, this particular task, I don't need to give WorkBuddy any local files, right? So I'm going to leave the working directly at its default settings, and where HY3 is available in the model selector, I'll use it for this demonstration. So I'll press send now. Okay, and it executes and it begins. And this is where WorkBuddy starts behaving more like an agent. Instead of me having to manually tell it what to research, then what to organize, and finally what document to create, the task is being broken down and executed as a workflow. And that's really the core idea behind WorkBuddy. One natural language instruction can become a multi-step piece of work. You'll sometimes see it ask for confirmations when an action requires additional permission. And for everyday tasks, the default permission mode is designed to let routine work continue while stopping for confirmation when a higher risk action needs your approval. So here we go. This is what I wanted to see. And instead of it just giving me a short answer in the chat, WorkBuddy has produced a structured piece of work that I can actually review. So we've got the executive summary, the main trends, customer behavior, opportunities. We've got the risk reports, followed by the practical recommendations. Of course, I'd still review the sources and verify important conclusions before using a report like this professionally. You can also just click here to open it and download it, but we'll just preview in here. Right, now what I'm going to do next, I'm going to build on the work we've already done. And instead of starting a completely new task, I'm asking WorkBuddy to use the research it already has and turn that into a much shorter executive briefing. Right, so I'll just pop it in here, click send, right? And this is where the large context window becomes useful. As you can see, it's just coming up right here, and it's got that executive briefing for me right there. And now we've gone from a fairly detailed research report to a much more focused leadership briefing, right? So same project, same underlying information, but a completely different output. Okay, so now let's move away from the individual task and look at some of the built-in capabilities that WorkBuddy can use. So we've got expert skills connectors. We'll go into the skills area and we're going to look at all of the examples related to research, analysis, content creation, presentation, documents creation, and the skills system is essentially an extension layer for the agent. Instead of expecting one general purpose assistant to handle every type of workflow in exactly the same way, skills give WorkBuddy additional capabilities that can be applied to specific work types. So, for example, if research is a big part of my workflow, I can look for research-focused capabilities. So I'll just pop that in there and just type in research. Okay, so that's research. And let's just say presentations. Okay, so just have a quick look in here right now. So here you go, and it describes this for you now. And the advantage here is that the capabilities are already packaged for a particular purpose. So I don't necessarily have to build the workflow from scratch every time. WorkBuddy also has an expert center. The difference is pretty straightforward. Skills give the agent a capability, while experts are specialized personas designed around particular domains. So the WorkBuddy documentation confirms that the expert center can be opened from the sidebar or task creation interface, with experts organized or within into areas including writing, data analysis, development, design, and business. What I'm going to use here is I'm just going to look for a project manager. Right, I'm going to click on here. We've got senior project manager, Dylan. So we've got Dylan here and we've got his profile and we can see his specialities. And the point here is that I can start with an expert that's already oriented around this type of work rather than spending the first part of my prompt explaining the role from scratch. Okay, so I've got him here and I can click summon to export. So let's pop in our prompt. Let's give this a realistic scenario, right? And the software launch is already 2 weeks behind schedule and I want a recovery plan. Okay, now, so here we go. First, I asked for the biggest project risks. So it's got all the risks right there. And then I asked for the priorities for the next 7 days. It's given me all the priorities in the next 7 days. It's given me the actions for the project team right there. Very specific, okay? And then finally, a short update that could actually be adapted and sent to a leadership, which is right there. So that's where the domain specialization becomes practical. I'm not just getting a generic answer. The task is being approached from a project management perspective. Okay, so I'm back on the main WorkBuddy workspace and let's talk about model configuration itself. Now, so WorkBuddy supports a wide range of built-in models and also provides an auto mode that can automatically choose a suitable model for the task. The exact model list can vary, and that all depends on the product version, account, and service availability. So you'll go into here and you can see all the models right in there. Auto mode is useful if you don't want to think about model selection every time WorkBuddy can choose the model it considers appropriate. And then when we come out of this into here, you will see where HY3 there is available in the current account. And this is where you can see it as part of the model layout behind the WorkBuddy experience. So now HY3 isn't limited to the WorkBuddy interface either. Tencent has also released the model for developers, including access through OpenRouter. So for developers using the model through an API, there's also a clear usage-based pricing model. Now, OpenRouter describes the same HY3 model as a 295 billion parameter mixture of experts model with 21 billion active parameters and support for long context agentic workflows. Also, and importantly, the official repository says HY3 is released under the Apache license 2.0. That means developers can work with the release model and the deployment resources rather than being limited to one closed interface. There are really two sides to this story. WorkBuddy gives you the ready-to-use agent workstation, while the open model gives developers more control over how they integrate the underlying technology. So if you're looking for an AI agent that goes beyond simply answering questions and is designed to work through multi-step tasks, WorkBuddy is definitely worth exploring. So if you're tired of manual research, data entry, and document creation eating into your productive time, try WorkBuddy for free through August the 31st, 2026. Head to the link in the description, sign up and see how HY3 powers your work instantly. That's all for today's video. We hope you like it. If you did, tap the like button, hit subscribe, and then we'll see you in the next one.